Hey, Steve Gamache here for Chef Knives to Go, and this is the Hatsukokoro Inazuma Aogami Super Damascus Tsuchime Gyuto 210mm knife. So that's a handful there, so let's break that down. Keep in mind that weights and dimensions can vary just a little bit from knife to knife. So the construction on this is multi-layered. It's got core cutting edge steel down the middle of Aogami Blue Paper Super reactive high carbon steel. Heat treats about 62, 63 Rockwell on that core steel. Aogami Super is well known for its very good edge retention and reasonable sharpening characteristics if you've got good sharpening stones. And it's a great kitchen steel. This has a soft iron, reactive iron, Damascus or layered cladding on either side of that core steel, so it's an all-reactive knife. This cladding does have a what's known as a Tsuchime or hammered finish to it. We'll get a close-up look at that, but this is not a stainless knife or semi-stainless. It's all reactive. The weight on this one is 151 grams or 5.3 ounces. Edge length is about 212 millimeters or about 8.35 inches on the tip to the back of the heel, the usable cutting surface. The overall length is about 360 millimeters or 14.2 inches. And then thickness-wise, these are pretty svelte knives. This has about 2.5 millimeter thickness on the spine coming out of the handle above the back of the blade. And then I got about 1.9 halfway down. And then it doesn't taper too much off that, but it thins out just a little bit until you get to the grind. It's pretty easy to see the grind here. Here's some hammer marks on this side. These are hammer marks here. Got some hammer marks on the other side. You can see the edge is quite polished. I shouldn't say the edge, but the core steel coming out from the cladding is highly polished. But pretty generous grind here. And so this tip gets nice and skinny. So there's your tip. Very thin tip that should perform very well through product. And here's the back of the knife. So choil shot. So again, quite thin at the edge. It's a fairly thin knife overall. So the performance should be great on this. I got about almost 47 millimeters at the back of the blade, 46.8, so there's plenty of height here. Ground clearance for your fingers. They've got a pretty generous curve from the choil into the neck of the knife, and the neck's fairly wide, not quite as wide as the handle, but you got a good spot there for your finger for a pinch grip, so it's very comfortable on a pinch grip. The handle is an octagonal wenge with black buffalo horn ferrule, and they've got a good glue up job there good seal job where it goes into the handle. Wenge is cool because every handle is a little different. It's got a lot of figure to it, a lot of variation, colors and so on. The buffalo horns are really nice, so nice fit and finish on these handles. This wood is a little bit dense, a little weight to it, so that's going to bring our balance point back a little bit on this with this handle. And so our balance point is just in front of that choil. So in terms of a pinch grip, it's going to feel just a little handle heavy. Still pretty light knife though, so it's still pretty nimble. It's not bad. But little handle heavy, so not quite perfectly neutral. Let's get a closer look at this. It's a very nice looking blade. You've got your multi-layered cladding. You've got your hammering Tsuchime finish on it. And then as you get the grind towards the edge, down to the edge, you can see the layers there. And then the shiny part is the core steel. They've got hand-engraved kanji on the right side of the blade. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's all hand-engraved. You can feel it when you run your fingers across it. And then here's the left side of the blade. This knife has really nice fit and finish on it. So here's your hammer marks on the left side of the blade. You got your kind of frosted finish going down to the polished finish on the core steel. Very nice looking blade. They've polished and rounded the spine very nicely, as well as the choil. So again, there's a lot of fit and finish to this blade. The grinds are very clean, nice straight blade. Back half's pretty stiff. Front half's got a little flex, not too much, but it's surprisingly stiff. The out of the box edge, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's really got a nice edge on it with some polish to the edge. So nice job there. So it's really ready to rock and roll right out of the box. Keep in mind an all reactive blade will start to gain a patina. And you just need to make sure that you use it, clean it, dry it well, and put it away. And don't let it sit wet, and it'll start to gain a patina and get a little bit more resistant to any kind of corrosion as that patina starts growing on it. So here's your profile. This thing, it has a big old flat spot towards the back. It just flows right into that heel, and it's a good 40% of that blade is pretty darn flat. Just pops right into that. It's smooth, but it pops right into that. It's a stop. It pops right into the stop there. It's not a roll. It's just boom. So that back half's nice and flat. The front's got a bit of a aggressive belly to it, so I can get pretty high, about right in there for the tip once I start digging in. So this thing will rock very nicely over medium, small stuff. Not a problem at all. You can do tip draws, but you'll have to bring the handle up a little bit higher because of that belly. But again, great flat spot towards the back. Push-pull cuts, glide cuts. You can do some tip draws with it. Rocking would work really well. So it's got quite a variety of blade cutting techniques across that length of that blade. So very nice package. It is all reactive, just keep that in mind, but it's very nice to look at. Should be excellent performer, great fit and finish on it. So this is the Hatsukokoro Inazuma Aogami Damascus Tsuchime Gyuto 210mm knife from Chef Knives to Go.